How to deal with a narcissist when you cannot go no contact or leave them? Well, I hate to say that it's really hard and painful to do when you cannot completely cut them off from your life. And you know what? Unless you watch this whole video, you won't be able to deal with them properly. Hey everyone, I am Danish Bashir, your personal transformation coach, and in this video I will be sharing with you 7 effective techniques and ways to deal with a narcissist when you cannot leave or go no contact. So let's get started. Unfortunately, it is not always possible to completely cut off a narcissist from your life, particularly when you share children with them or they are in your family, or simply it is your boss or a colleague who is a narcissist. In such a situation, it becomes an absolute necessity to preserve one's mental, spiritual, emotional and physical well-being. And there are 7 ways in which you can do that. And I will be sharing with you each one of them in just a minute. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and do not miss any healing resources in the future. Number 1. See the narcissist as they are, rather who you want them to be. A couple of days ago, I received a message which read, I have been with a narcissist for about 12 years now, and I can't leave. I am so drained because I feel numb inside. But if he only became the person he was in the beginning, everything will be awesome again. You see, this notion about hoping or wishing to see a change in the narcissist is so common among the survivors that it keeps them stuck for decades. The years they could literally have used to manifest into the greatest version possible of themselves. But unfortunately, they can't see it. One of the main reasons we suffer is we do not see the person as they are. Rather, we hope or wish them to be someone else they are incapable of being or unwilling to be. Similarly, in your case, the narcissist you are dealing with will not change. Do you know why? Because narcissism is their personality fingerprint, which is likely going to remain the same. If they are abusive now, it is highly likely that they will be abusive even after 20 years from now. Therefore, the earlier you accept and start seeing them as they are, the more control you will have over the relationship. The more understanding you will have of what to expect from them. Remember, accepting the narcissist as they are is the key to coexisting with them when you cannot leave. Number 2, respond and do not react. The most favorite tactic of a narcissist is to control a victim's behavior. They are aware of what pushes your emotional buttons and what triggers you to react. Therefore, every interaction you have with a narcissist has to be what I call reactionless and responseful. Whenever a narcissist tries to evoke a certain behavior in you or tries to push your emotional buttons, deal with it in 3 ways. Number 1, become aware of what the narcissist is trying to do and how is that making you feel. Number 2, think about the consequences of reacting. Think about what would happen if you react. And then, number 3, think about how you can respond in a different yet effective way without letting the narcissist overpower you. This will not only help you tackle the manipulation tactics and plots, but it will also reduce the chances of getting into a conflict with a narcissist. The idea is to empower yourself to the extent that you find a balance between your emotions and your logic. That you start letting your wisdom to be your eternal guide. Remember, you cannot afford to let your emotions be the only resource while you are dealing with a narcissist. Number 3. Have well-defined and strong boundaries. I remember when I was in the narcissistic relationship, I had no idea whatsoever what it means to have boundaries. I hardly knew where the other person ended and where I began. Therefore, I had no control over my life. So when I was preparing to leave the relationship, I started learning about my boundaries. I started exploring my boundaries. Same applies to you. Establish boundaries to make it clear what behavior will you accept and what not. If you are divorced and share children with a narcissist, make it very, very clear that how often and when they can see the children. And if possible, make email as your primary source of communication, because that will give you enough time to think and then respond. You will have enough time to make wise decisions which are not driven by your insecurities or vulnerabilities. Establish what I call least contact. If it is your boss or a family member or a colleague you work with, have a strong sense of what you will accept and what not. Remove all the kinds of dependencies. Make the relationship with them as limited as possible. Now coming to the next 4 yet most important ways that you cannot afford to miss knowing, and I will be explaining them too in just a minute. Number 4. Act cordial but not engaging. Keep the information that you share with the narcissist as limited as possible while staying polite. If they behave in a positive manner or do something good, reward the behavior by appreciating it. This will condition the narcissist to behave in a positive manner. This will send them the signals that if you do this, you will be getting the supply. In reality, this will condition them to behave like Pavlov's dog, if you know what I mean. At the same time, refrain from giving the supply, giving the attention when they are behaving inappropriately. For example, they are yelling, they are cussing, they are being verbally abusive, they are throwing tantrums at you. The idea is to condition them to only positive stimuli. Now, in certain cases, if you praise the narcissist too much for a small good behavior, it may lead to something I call false signal picking. And I will explain what I mean by that in just a minute. A narcissist's main motive in the relationship is to establish control and then maintain it. And when you praise them too much for a small thing, they might start picking false signals that you are letting them have that control, that they can behave in whatever way they want to. Therefore, it is mandatory to stay conscious of your boundaries and when to say no. It is also mandatory to avoid getting emotionally involved with a narcissist while you are dealing with them. Number 5. Build a strong support system. Nurture the relationships with the people who understand you and support you. Think about a bird who is alone and is being chased by an eagle. Now at the same time, think about another bird who is also being chased by an eagle but is present in his flock. Who is likely going to die? Obviously, your answer would be the bird which is alone. Similarly, the people who nurture you, the people who support you, the people who understand your situation is your flock. Nurture the relationships with them. Take care of the relationships you have with them to the extent that they replace the need of having the narcissist in your life. You can also consult a professional coach, a counselor or a therapist who can support you and keep you on track and aware of the situation you are dealing with. And if you cannot do that, you can join online support groups like the one I have created on Instagram, which you can find at the rate of eternal.motivation. The idea is to surround yourself with the people who can support you, who can understand you, who can be there for you, who can become a mirror to show you both sides of a situation, the situation you're dealing with. Number 6. Manage your expectations. Do not keep knocking at the door which you know no one is going to open. If you keep giving and giving and giving in the dysfunctional relationship and expecting that at least your efforts would be recognized or seen, then my friend, you are in an absolute error. As said earlier, the narcissist is unwilling to change at a deeper level, even if they are pretending to. Therefore, managing your expectations is the most important step here. Do not expect them to take care of you. Do not expect them to understand your emotions. Do not expect them to respect you and your boundaries. That is why it is recommended that you have to be really strong while you are setting your boundaries. I understand that it can also be very hard to not to expect when you invest so many efforts into a relationship. But sometimes we do not have other options than to preserve and save ourselves. Number 7. Above all, self-nurture. All the ways that I have shared with you will go in vain if you do not do this. This is the most important step of all the 7. I can go on and speak hours and hours and hours about self-nurturing and taking care of yourself, but let me put it in one sentence. You are the source of your happiness, peace, stability, freedom, and love. Therefore, it is an obligation on you to do everything it takes to take care of yourself, to nurture yourself, to heal yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically as well. Remember, when you will be fine, everything else will be fine. Only then you will be able to be there for you when no one else is. Only then you will be able to fight those who are trying to cross every limit to see you suffer, or rather make you suffer. Only then you will be able to stand up for yourself against those who are leaving no stone unturned to bury you deep down in the ground. It is your responsibility to be there for yourself now. It is your responsibility to say enough is enough. It is your responsibility to set boundaries now. It is your responsibility to look after yourself. And I am sure and I believe that you can and you will do that. And comment yes below if you agree with me. So that's it for today. I hope this video would have helped you and built up your strength. If you really enjoyed watching this video, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, because that would mean a world to me. If at some point of your life you feel that you can leave the narcissist for good, here is an amazing video in which I share an awesome technique known as SMAC technique that you can use to establish the no contact. I will see you next time. Till then, let the healing begin.